you do not know this about terrain in Minecraft. This information is crazy and you should know it about Minecraft. So to generate terrain, the game uses 3 2D noise maps. These noises are mapped using splines to calculate the height offset. The same noises are also used in biome generation, which creates a soft link between biome and terrain. Now this screen shows the noise maps used in world generation. We got weirdness, continentalness, temperature, humidity, erosion, peaks and valleys. Now Minecraft only uses 3 of these for terrain generation. So for continentalness, the larger the continentalness, the higher the average terrain. Continentalness is used mainly for differentiating ocean and land. For erosion, the erosion parameter affects inland terrain during terrain generation. Erosion is mainly used to create large areas of flat ground. The higher the erosion at a location, the lower the terrain, and the flatter the terrain. For peaks and valleys, the peaks and valleys value is calculated from weirdness. As the name suggests, it is mainly used for generating better peaks and valleys. And you can see that here, how the peaks and valleys kind of follows the weirdness, like where there's big black areas and weirdness, there's a peak, and where there's big white areas, there's a peak as well. But in the darker gray areas, there's a valley. A reasonable thing we could do is kind of use what we see in our Minecraft world, peaks and valleys, to assume things about weirdness for biome finding. The higher the peaks and valleys value, the higher the terrain. Usually at places with low continentalness or high erosion, when the peaks and valleys value is valleys, the terrain is low enough to generate rivers. At high terrain, negative weirdness values lead to taller and more jagged and point peaks. So if these 3 noise maps are pretty much controlling the terrain in Minecraft, what if we could look at those 3 on a graph and then see what each biome has in terrain? Now looking at this, it compares peaks and valleys, erosion, and continentalness off the coast. Now looking at this, there's something off about it. It doesn't show all biomes. It shows like groups of biomes, like middle biomes, badlands biomes, beach biomes, plateau biomes, shattered biomes. Like if it's grouping them, wouldn't that mean that they generate with the same terrain? So here's a graph of the middle biomes, and we see that temperature and humidity and weirdness, the other 3 noise maps, kind of figure out which middle biome to place. You catch that? That means that all of these biomes, they all can generate with the same terrain. That's kind of like, I mean, like what? If it is. Now the jungle can be a shattered biome, a plateau biome, or a middle biome. And here we have some badland biomes and some beach biomes. Something like the flower forest or sunflower plains will always generate in a middle biome, whereas something like a plains could generate like a middle biome, but it could also generate like a shattered biome. So this chart is extremely helpful for finding out what terrain to expect in what biome. So now when we're looking for seeds with specific terrain, we can expect what terrain to see in certain biomes. I'm definitely going to make videos in the future where I go in depth in the different terrain features in these different terrain types. So you should definitely subscribe. The mushroom fields always generates far out in the ocean, so it probably has the most unique terrain in that it's not affected by other things. The mushroom fields isn't a middle biome or a plateau or shattered biome or whatever, so it definitely is going to have crazy unique terrain. And the swamp too. We can see that the swamp has some unique terrain. Stony shore, windswept savanna, and then snowy slopes and grove. They have some unique terrain, which I think is cool. Badlands probably has a lot of unique terrain. Badlands can also be a plateau biome, and Badlands can also be kind of like a middle biome. So Badlands are very, very versatile in their terrain. And yeah, hopefully this video was very informative and helpful. I will definitely go deeper into all of these topics in future videos, so you better like the video. And if you subscribe, I would love it. I would love to make future videos where I analyze a Minecraft seed, look at its biomes and terrain, and then try to analyze what noise maps are going on in the background, and then maybe try to like see how common or uncommon a seed could be. I would love to make those seed analysis videos. So if you'd like to see that, definitely subscribe.